Hey everybody, welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. We're finally doing it. We're playing the 4th installment in the Space Crusade campaign, Renegade. If you haven't seen the previous installments, my team of Space Marine Terminators are tracking down Hermiotus, a scientist who has gone and got himself all infected with gene stealer juice. Silly man. In the previous 3 missions, the Terminators have kicked butt. Our commander is already a Captain Primus with 5 honour badges, and we have technically already accrued enough victory points to be considered the winner of the whole campaign. But we are playing on regardless to see how it all ends. So let's start by reading our objective for Mission 4. Mission HT-AF-004, Sector Beta Magellan, Primary Assault. Using the cargo shuttle, a small force will penetrate Gorinium and destroy all outer defences. Initial scans indicate that there are large concentrations of heavy armour present. The primary mission token will be won by the Space Marine player who gains the most points from Android and Dreadnought blip tokens, including reinforcements. And for this mission we will be using all of the blip tokens and 4 Android reinforcement tokens. That all seems simple enough, but we do have to make a small adjustment to this mission to make it work for solo play. Rather than awarding the primary objective to the Marine player who kills the most mechanical foes, our squad will gain the objective if they kill 8 androids, that's the 4 from the blips and the 4 from the reinforcements, plus the Dreadnought, before time runs out. For a timer we're going to use the Alien event deck. When it runs out, the Terminators lose, but to add some pressure I'm going to draw 2 events per alien turn. There is a secondary mission that will come into play if we draw the secondary event card from the Alien deck. We'll cover rules for that as it happens. For our squad I'm taking a Commander, a Heavy Flamer and 2 Grunts with Stormbolters, and then I'm going to spend 2 of my honour badges to bring along a Librarian, as they can normally do some serious damage. For my Librarian's psychic powers I'm taking Lightning Arc, as it can rack up a lot of kills, Teleport so I can quickly move the Librarian if he gets out of position, Burst of Speed so he can move twice and attack twice in one turn, and Smite because it's pretty brutal. With 3 honour badges to my name, I would normally be allowed 7 equipment cards, but I have to give up 4 pieces of equipment for my Terminator armour, leaving me with 3. I am taking digital weapons to give my commander a reroll in melee or ranged combat, a Medipack so my commander can recover wounds, and blind grenades to prevent enemies from attacking for 1 turn. Finally, I have to pick orders. As a Captain Primus, my commander has access to all 4 order cards. I will go through those as and when we use them. With all of that organised, we can begin. So let's get this mission started. Let's kill some aliens. We're going to start by moving one of our regular grunts 2 spaces into the room to there. He is going to open the door, and then he is going to move 1 more space into that room. Having finished his activation, we populate this first quadrant of the board with our first stack of alien blips. As always, I have divided the blips into 4 stacks. I have randomised the contents of those stacks so I do not know what is in there, and then I have grabbed one of the stacks at random, so I have no idea what aliens we're going to be facing here. And all of these blips have to be placed on this quadrant of the board out of line of sight. And just for fun, we're going to do that, 8 blips in the corridor. And now we can move the rest of our squad up. And we're going to do something like that as we prepare for the alien onslaught. That ends the first Terminator turn, so we now draw 2 alien event cards. And it is a bad start for the aliens. We have a psychic attack. The mothership channels a psychic attack onto the alien vessel. The Gretchen and Orcs are affected and may not move or fire this turn. And then to make things worse, our second card is Frenzy. Any one Gretchen or Orc may attack twice in hand-to-hand combat this turn. So obviously that Frenzy card cannot come into effect. With that done, we're going to move some blips. Bearing in mind any Orcs or Gretchen we reveal will not be able to actually do anything. We will move the first blip to there and we will open the door. We reveal the blip, and it is indeed an Orc who is just going to stand there looking dumb. Not ideal, but we are going to move up 1 more blip because we want to create a roadblock to stop these Terminators advancing. It moves to there and reveals. Oh, and that is more like it. It is an early appearance of a Chaos Marine with a missile launcher. He used 3 movement points to get into position there. He has 1 movement point remaining. He is going to back off 1 space, and then he will fire his missile launcher at the grunt standing next to our commander. The missile launcher rolls 2 heavy weapon dice. If we score at least a 4, we will kill the Terminator. And we roll only a single hit. That is not good enough. Never mind, I am going to bring 1 more blip in to plug that gap. 3 movement points to there. And this time we have a Gretchen. I think our remaining blips will just spread out slightly. Like so. The last thing we can do on our turn is bring in reinforcements if we wish to. And I think we will, because reinforcements all come onto the board on the bottom left corner. And that will immediately put our Terminators under pressure from 2 different directions. Let's bring in a few androids. Just there. And that is it for our first turn. It is time for the Terminators to react to these new threats. We're going to start by activating our Librarian. He moves to there, and he is going to shoot that Gretchen with 1 red and 1 white dice. A single hit will kill it. And he rolls 3, absolutely obliterating that Gretchen. Our Terminators score their first 2 points. And now we are going to bring up our Heavy Flamer. He is going to stand directly in front of the Librarian, and he is going to target the space between the Orc and the Chaos Marine. He rolls 2 red dice, and the total is inflicted on both of the targets. So we could get 2 easy kills here. But we roll 0-0, so that is a big whiff. Never mind, our commander is going to steam into action. He wants to take down this Chaos Marine in hand-to-hand combat. So he moves up to there, and in doing so he reveals some more blips.
A whisk, a tin opener, and a spatula.
A Gretchen, an Orc, and an Android. Well, that's a little concerning. Okay, our commander is going to continue moving just to make a bit of room. He's going to stand in there, and then he is going to attack the Chaos Marine. He rolls 2 red dice. He has rolled a 3. But because our commander has digital weapons, we are allowed to re-roll that 0. It's still a 0, but 3 is good. The Chaos Marine rolls 2 white dice in defense. Scoring 0-0, so he is absolutely mauled. Today our commander plans to take no prisoners. And that is another 10 victory points. Next we're going to bring up this straggler on the far left of the board. He's going to try and take down this Orc for us. He goes to there and shoots with 1 red and 1 white dice. Scoring 2, which is enough for a kill. 3 more victory points in the bag. And our final Terminator is going to try and take down this android. He moves to there for a clean shot, and he rolls 1 red and 1 white dice. And it's a 0-0. And that could be a problem. Androids are tough. The android is also very well positioned to take down my Heavy Flamer in hand-to-hand combat. I could play my blind grenades, but we are still very early in the game, so I think we might be better off just waiting a little bit. And that means it's the alien player's turn, and we draw 2 event cards. First of all, we have a Gretchen Bomber. Any one Gretchen may throw a frag grenade instead of firing. This works in the same way as a missile launcher. And then we have Mech Assault. All the androids and the Dreadnought may move up to twice their normal move this turn, as well as attacking. Well, I guess first things first, let's attack the Heavy Flamer with our android. Androids roll 2 red dice. And it's a 4, that's a really big hit. This could be very early doors for the Heavy Flamer, who only rolls 1 red and 1 white dice. And we only score a 2, so the Heavy Flamer is immediately taken out of action. This is a huge loss for the Terminators. Remember, we are playing against the clock, and the Heavy Flamer was our best chance of killing large groups of enemies at once. Not to mention that has cost the Terminators 15 victory points. Very, very bad start. Guess I should have used those blind grenades after all. Next up we have our Gretchen Bomber, who has a movement of 8. He is going to scurry around and try to blow up the Librarian. 2 red dice, anything above a 3 is a kill. And that is a 4. This is absolute disaster for the Terminators. We have lost our Heavy Flamer and our Librarian in the second alien turn. And to add insult to injury, the Librarian lost his life to a Gretchen. If you have watched my other Space Crusade playthroughs, then you will know that you should never underestimate a Gretchen Bomber. Really, really regretting not playing those blind grenades. And it's not over yet, we still have an Orc to activate. He is going to charge down there and engage that Terminator in hand-to-hand combat. He rolls 2 white dice. And he scored a 2, that's not bad. Terminators roll a red and a white. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to say. I don't know what has happened. This orc has just punched a Terminator to death. This is absolutely absurd. At this point, it looks like our commander's going to be doing a solo run, and he is never going to have enough killing power to wipe the board before we run out of time. And we've still got blips to activate. We will move that one to there, and he will reveal. That is a Gretchen. He has 6 movement points remaining, so he might as well go around and try to take a shot at the remaining Terminator grunt. He rolls 2 white dice, and he needs a 4. 0-0. That's more what I expect from the Gretchen. Our final blip. 2 movement to there, and it is an orc. He has 4 movement points left, just enough to charge into combat with that grunt. 2 white dice. 0-0. Our beleaguered Terminator retaliates and scores a 4. That's more like it. We kill the orc. This is where we make our comeback. Meanwhile, over here, our androids make a double move. 4 to the door and opens it, and then another 4. And his little buddy follows, like so. I could bring in more reinforcements again, but I don't think I will at the moment. The Terminators have had a bad time already. Let's wait, hold some reserves back, and see if we can really destroy them later on. Well, as tempting as it would be to flee immediately, to return to the airlock and get out of dodge, that is not on the cards for these Terminators. Because at the moment we are in the hole for quite a few victory points, and if we leave now, our commander will be so ashamed he will return by himself and sacrifice his life in an attempt to atone for such a terrible failure. So before we can even think about leaving, we have to clear out more aliens, we have to score some victory points. So let's start killing some stuff. First, our Terminator grunt is going to shoot the orc directly in front of him, as he is one of the biggest threats there. And it's a miss. The Terminators are having a really bad time. In that case, he will just back up to there. That will clear the way for our commander to move into the room, and our commander is going to attack the android in hand-to-hand combat. Disco dice is a big 3, and because of our digital weapons we can re-roll the 0. And that's a 2, 5 total. The android rolls 2 red in defense. Scoring just 1, we have destroyed the android. We have taken our first step to recovering our honour. 10 victory points for that, not too shabby. Well, it was a short turn, but there it is. That is it. It is time for the aliens to activate. First by drawing 2 alien cards. First of all, we have out of ammo. Choose any one marine miniature armed with a heavy weapon. That miniature's weapon must be replaced with a bolter. If there is no bolter, he may only attack in hand to hand. Well, we only had one heavy weapon. It was our heavy flamer, and that guy is dead. And then we have alien elite. You may pick any one alien miniature on the board. That miniature may then be used twice this turn. Now that is also really bad news for the Terminators, because just off to the left, barely in shot, we have our 2 androids. One of those, if activated twice, could get into hand-to-hand combat range with our remaining grunt. So that's what we will start with. We will activate one of the androids on the left twice. First he will open the door, move 4 spaces. Fortunately he cannot see to shoot anyone from there, so he will just activate a second time. And now it's bad news bears for the Terminators. 2 red dice. It's only a single hit. The Terminator does have a good chance of surviving this. And he does, but only just. It's a draw. We may as well move up our other android. Then our orc will charge into action. He can make it into base contact and attack with 2 white dice, scoring 1 hit. The Terminator defends. And at this point I just don't know what to do. The dice have absolutely given up on the Terminators in this game. This is a cataclysmic failure. Our commander is indeed flying solo for the rest of this mission. We have 2 Gretchen, they're both going to take a shot on the commander. They're not expecting to do anything, but they might as well. First one rolls a 2. and the second one misses completely. They're not even going to bother to move, there's no point. They are probably going to die, but I have so many aliens left to bring into play. This whole playthrough has been a horrible, horrible time for the Terminators. I'm not even going to worry about bringing in any more reinforcements at the moment. Let's see what our commander can do. He's going to move to there. 2 red dice on the android. That's a 4. I'm not even going to bother re-rolling that because that's already a really good score. The android defends and rolls 00. That's another dead android. Commander is clearly not happy. But that's it, that's all he can do. Without a squad, without a librarian, there is just nothing else that we can do here. So the aliens draw 2 event cards. Apparently today it's all about punishing Terminators because we have spawned a Gene Stealer. We'll pop that right there. And then we have redeploy. You may place up to 3 blip tokens onto a board that has already been scanned. That is completely irrelevant for this playthrough, so we can just ignore it. Okay, first things first, our Orc punches the Terminator. It's a big whiff. Our commander defends, scoring 3 and outright killing the Orc. Our commander is an absolute boss, but has he got it in him to cope with all of these aliens? The Gene Stealer attacks. And that's a 3, that's a big hit. The commander defends and scores a 4. That takes down the Gene Stealer too. We have an android to plod into play, but it cannot get into hand-to-hand combat, so it's going to have to shoot. 3 white dice from there. And it's a 000. Finally, the 2 Gretchen are going to take pot shots from where they are, and then they will run away. 1 misses, and he goes all the way up there. And then our second one also misses, and he runs to there. That ends the turn. We're going to skip reinforcements for now and go straight into the new Terminator phase. Our commander is going to shoot at the android from there. He rolls 2 red dice. He needs 3 to succeed. He has rolled a 3. That is enough to kill the android. We didn't even need the reroll from our digital weapons. And then we will move 4 spaces. Oh, if only we had a second attack. I would punch this Gretchen's head straight off. But alas, that is the end of our turn. Time to draw some more alien events, as if we need more problems. First we have auto defense. You may shoot at any 1 marine or commander miniature on a corridor square, rolling 1 heavy weapon die. That will not be able to penetrate a Terminator's armor. And then we have Orc Mechaniac, but we do not have any orcs on the board anymore, so that is also ignored. We're going to move our 2 Gretchen. The one next to the commander is going to shoot him. There is nothing in this game that says you cannot shoot things that are adjacent, so he rolls 2 white dice looking for 4. And he gets 3. He almost managed to insult the Terminator commander again by inflicting a wound on him, but he does not, so instead he's going to run away. He's going to go all the way back there. We will also activate our second Gretchen. He's just going to move to there, ready for an ambush later on. Finally, I have 2 more android reinforcements I can bring into play. Why the heck wouldn't I? They will go there, ready to cause mass destruction. The turn is over. All our commander can do is plod 4 spaces and then wait for new blips to populate. We will go to there. Nothing to see, nothing to shoot, so we end our activation and more blips spawn. I don't know, I'm suspicious this may be a trap.